Chapter 12 Mr. Smith. After returning to the factory building, the Cross was sullen, and it was event-style random shooting at the human-shaped target. He did everything possible to keep his son away from the whirlpool of killers, but Wesley was still involved and fell into the hands of the murderous brotherhood. Thinking of Sloane's sanctimonious face, the Cross was annoyed. He was worried that Wesley would be persecuted. If Sloane took Wesley's life, what should he do? "Are you worried about your son?" Russell came to the Cross, pressed the bullet into the magazine, and fired slowly after loading. The Cross snorted coldly, knowingly asking, what kind of parent would be ruthless and disregard the safety of their child? Russell finished playing the clip and said casually, "Actually, you don't have to worry. As long as you are alive for one day, Sloane will have trouble sleeping and eating for a day, and your son will have the value of living. I bet, at most, get a fat beating, will not die." "I understand what you're saying, but..." The Cross sighed sullenly. "Wesley, my son's name, before he could remember, I left him and his mother. On the one hand, I don't want him to be hurt by the enemy, on the other hand..." When the Cross said that it was stuck, Russell continued, "On the other hand, he has inherited your bloodline and has the potential to become a top killer, and you don't want his hands to be covered in blood, you just want him to be an ordinary person. Live." The Cross looked at Russell in distress. "Why do you know that?" Russell shrugged. "The reason you know, because my parents are killers, and they don't want me to go down this old road." "Okay, I'm a little messed up now, and I almost forgot about it. By the way, your parents are very qualified, they really love you." Cross said, thinking of himself and Wesley. His expression was again a moment of gloom. "My parents were successful at one point, but you pulled me in again." Russell opened his mouth and said, his words made the old Cross blushed. He opened his mouth and didn't dare to speak, no matter what he said, it was too against his heart. Don't be decadent. When you have time to be a quiet uncle with stubble, it's better to think about how to rescue your son Wesley, and sooner or later there will be problems in the fraternity. The Cross glanced deeply at Russell, probably because Wesley was in danger. He lowered his guard against Russell and said bluntly, "A long time ago, I began to formulate an assassination plan for the Brotherhood. If nothing else, it can directly take over their old nest." "Then go according to plan." "I think so too, but the time is not ripe. There are still a lot of core members of the Brotherhood. These people are top killers. Before they are dealt with, the success rate of the plan is very low. I don't want to do meaningless things. Then Wesley is miserable. Whenever you kill a member of the Brotherhood, Wesley will be fed an oily fish." Russell was swearing, and when he saw the vicious eyes of the Cross, he changed his words decisively. "Well, without Happy Gay, Wesley gets beat up every 5 minutes at most, or every morning you get his spare parts. Shut up or I'll kill you. I swear." Russell blinked. "I'll say the last sentence, I promise you like it." The Cross was expressionless and stared straight at Russell. The latter was completely unconscious and began to spoil things. "No," he began to explain his own analysis. "Have you ever thought about another possibility? Wesley inherited your bloodline of top killer, and if you cultivate it, you will be full of adrenaline, and Sloane may use him to deal with you." "It's impossible. I'm Wesley's father. It's stupid to train Wesley to assassinate me." The Cross firmly denied. "Because you are Wesley's father, Sloane will do this even more, because you can't shoot in the face of Wesley." Russell looked directly into the eyes of the Cross, breaking his illusion. "You are Wesley, but who knows? Wesley doesn't know, he just knows he's been without a father since he was a kid, doesn't he?" Russell's words made the Cross unable to refute. He was unwilling to accept this reality and forcibly defended, "It's still impossible, Wesley is not that stupid." "Sorry, your son is so stupid." Russell clearly remembers that in the original book, the hapless Wesley never knew who his father was. Sloane told him that he was the son of Debiatu, and Debiatu was killed by the Cross. By the way, he described the Cross as a heinous villain, and used Wesley's determination to avenge his father to cultivate him into a top-level independent man. Killer. Thinking of this, Russell was suddenly stunned, because the person who killed the big back was not the cross, but him. Damn, I became Wesley's father killer. Russell looked confused. When he killed Dabiatu before, he hadn't thought of this. Looking back now, it really is the truth. Thinking of himself becoming the enemy of the son of destiny who killed his father, Russell has a lot of sadness. This is not a way to survive. If they really train Wesley to be a killer, it's really bad. I don't want him to follow my old path, but he's still, this damn fate. The cross was saddened, probably because of his own strength. Self-confidence, there is absolutely no awareness that his life is threatened by his son. Russell interjected decisively, destroy the Brotherhood, maybe you can live a normal life. It's not that easy. The killer is not a cleaner. He doesn't want to change jobs when he wants to. If you don't do it, you will definitely fail. If you do it, there is still a chance. For your son, you should fight for it. Russell said with a stern face, for my little life, you should fight for it. The cross was stunned. After a while, he smiled and said, you are right. I should fight for it. Fate is not always fixed. Looking at the refreshed cross, Russell nodded with satisfaction. With the cross, the cannon fodder on top attracts firepower in front, and his sense of security surged. Next, let's start training. I want to learn some new techniques. Your long-range sniping is good, counterattack. I can cover you 10 kilometers away when you're at Brotherhood HQ. Sorry, the plan was messed up. I don't have time to train you right now. I'm going to speed up the cleanup of the Brotherhood in the coming days. The more I kill, the safer Wesley will be. Russell was anxious. Then what should I do? Don't you plan to let me, a novice, cover you 10 miles away? Believe it or not, I'll blow your dog's head off. Don't worry, although I can't train you, I know a very good guy, and I will ask him to help train you. Cross picked up the note, started writing like a fly, and quickly gave Russell an address. Russell had a rough guess in his mind. In the original book, the Cross was not fighting alone in the process of fighting against the Brotherhood. He had a reliable partner, a bad old man who provided him with special bullets. The bad old man is a superficial phenomenon. People who can carve warheads into flowers are definitely not ordinary. Bo Buki was the #1 killer in the world 30 years ago. Russell thought so, and Mizizi took the note, only to see a string of addresses written on it and a name attached. Mr. Smith. Russell raised his brows. Who is he, your Robin? The moment he saw the name, Russell thought of the Smiths, so the question came, Firefox and the Mr. What is Smith's relationship? He is a gun friend I knew when I was working. He won the shooting championship of the national games at the age of 10. He has superb marksmanship and can be called a perfect shot. If he hadn't been recruited by the army and signed a confidentiality agreement, he would have been Olympic champion. He works in the army? No, he, like me, changed his career and became a killer. Duke pondered for a while. Is he handsome? The Cross looked at Russell with a strange face, and silently took 2 steps back, thinking of the oily fish that Russell mentioned earlier. His eyes instantly became alert. Damn, what kind of look are you looking at? Russell realized that his words were ambiguous, and changed his words. Okay, my fault. Change the question again, is his wife beautiful? The eyes of the Cross are even more strange. What are you trying to do? Please, can you stop thinking about it? I don't mean that. Also, answer my question, it's very important. As far as I know, he's a bachelor and a poor guy. He's 30 years old and he doesn't have a wife. Well, he doesn't even have a girlfriend. Cross sneered twice and continued, do you have any questions? Yes. Where did you work before? IRS. Russell was awe-inspiring when he heard the words. No wonder the Cross was so powerful. Before he was a killer, he was already a boss.